always wanted one of these. All right, let's get comfy and answer some questions. Hello, welcome back to the stand and my first Q&A. Thank you so much. I asked on Instagram for you to ask me some questions and you came in with some really great questions, so I appreciate that. I wish I kind of had more time to go through all of them and pick them out. I'm just gonna have to do at random at this point with the time that I have, but there will be more of these, so I'm definitely I will look at all of these at some point and make sure to answer any that I didn't at another date. Okay, so first, one of the big questions was, how long are we staying in Florida? And I don't know if we've really addressed that. We meant to do a video, I think on See Real soon, and for Joe and I to sit down and do a video, it does take like a lot of planning to make sure, because really any time that he has off, we're either typically going to the parks with the kids or trying to get editing or other stuff done. So there's been a few sit-down ones we wanted to do because we've gotten quite a few questions about certain things. We just haven't had the chance to do it. But anyway, we will be here until December 11th. So somewhat coming up on the end. I think we have about 2.5 weeks left. It was an extension. We first were at a different home until I think November 14th, 16th, something around there. And then we decided to extend, came to this home and extended to December 11th. After that, we are definitely going home and spending the holidays at our home in New Hampshire. So that is the plan. A lot of people are just asking in general, are we considering moving to Florida full time? How is living in Florida for a month compared to your expectations? Are you planning to extend even further? Does this trip make you want to move down to Florida? What's been the best part about moving to Florida these past weeks? I honestly, as much as I don't want to push those off, I do want to kind of, since there are so many different questions surrounding that, I do want to kind of have an own video dedicated to that. And I know I do this all the time where I'm like, I'll do that in a future video, and then I never do it. But this is one I really do want to do because we certainly have learned a lot from the experience and have had certain expectations, and those expectations kind of not pan out, and then other things kind of maybe exceed our expectations. I'm not really sure, but I think there was a lot we learned from it and a lot that we could share about it for those that are interested. So it is definitely something that I want to do. In general, what I will say is that it is so tough because we are in a rental home and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So those two things, of course, are going to drastically change our experience of feeling kind of local. And the reason I say that for the rental home piece is that, we are here with a lot of the stuff that we're not used to. We're in a house that has furniture and just things in general that are not only our aesthetic, but also not baby-proofed. So I do find when I am home here, it is a little stressful for me because Dennis is a new walker and all he wants to do is run and walk around. And so, it definitely doesn't feel like home because I'm just chasing him down all the time and, constantly worried about him getting into things and bumping into glass, tables and things like that, or expensive art. So just kind of that experience causes an added stress that I don't think we would have otherwise. But I still think with knowing that those, cons wouldn't be there if we were to move down here permanently, I still don't think for us there's enough that feels right where we would want to move here full time. I do think we have got enough of an experience, even though it is a weird one, of Florida as somewhat of a local to know, okay, yeah, maybe maybe this isn't for us. And Joe's still working full time. That's also been an experience we've gotten to kind of feel out. And knowing that I will be going back full time once the kids are in school, we know that, we'll only be able to enjoy what we enjoy out of Florida on the weekends, most likely. And so very soon, because the kids will be full time in just a couple of years or so. And so again, that's made us think like, yeah, is that worth making this huge move, moving away from family, probably downsizing in a home, and all the other things that we would be saying goodbye to in New Hampshire. And in thinking about it, we don't think so. So again, if we had made this choice when we were first married and we knew we'd have like a good 10 years, 15 years to enjoy before we moved back up to New Hampshire, the only thing you gotta think about with that again is we may not have been able to save as much as we were able to up in New Hampshire. So again, we wouldn't be able to have the home that we have now. So there's always give and take. There's always going to be that pull, and always that question of like, what should I have done that, shouldn't I have? And you have to make sacrifices, and you have to just prioritize what's most important to you. And as much as we would have loved to experience a couple of years or so maybe down here, it would have then made life potentially harder, and we would have had to give up some of the things that are even more important to us in order to do that. I don't know if that makes sense. Can't have everything, unfortunately. So make the most of what you have. I actually got this question quite a bit of what my major was. I have an undergraduate bachelor's degree, a bachelor's of science in social sciences, with a focus in history and anthropology, sociology. That is my undergraduate degree. And then I actually have my master's degree, which I worked on through I'll see real soon, and a master's of education, educational studies. It does not have like a teacher certification track, although maybe that's something that I will explore for the future when I do go back to work. And that was another question I got, is that do I plan to go back to work? And I do. Yep, this is just a short term thing I am taking advantage of that we're able to do, that once the kids are in school full time, I will be going back to work full time. It kind of makes me nervous because of the hours Joe works and the hours I used to work. In some ways, I'm afraid of, in being home with them right now and then needing to go back full time, that our kids are just gonna be in like after school daycare till 6 or 7 at night. I don't even know if they go that late. I don't know how we'll do it, but okay, battery died. We're gonna keep trying this. Oh, what's the thing? Okay. Yeah, so I do plan to go back to work full time when the kids are back to school. It's not something that I dread. I know the transition will be difficult. It's not only the transition emotionally, because certainly I know that there will be that piece, saying goodbye to that time when I was able to be home with the kids, but it also the transition just back into work and what that will look like if I'm starting back at ground zero. Because I know something that people mentioned was what was my job when I left, and it's something I think about all the time, is that I got married just a couple months after graduating college, and so there was that rush to find a career, my career job. Of course, there's always that rush. You want to get into that as soon as possible after college, but I kind of felt more so that I was like, I need to get something, and so I just got whatever I could in the field I wanted, which was higher education, but it certainly was not in the position or at the college that I wanted. So it took me a long time to get to where I wanted to be, and I know that's just in general for a lot of people, but I finally did get kind of one of my dream jobs. I was a faculty training and development specialist. So training has always been something I've really enjoyed and loved. Again, it's just a different way of educating people without actually being a teacher, which is something I'm also very interested in. But I really liked this, and I did that for a little under 2 years before I then went home full-time with Lee. And so, I'm still very friendly with them. It's always something I could go back to. The only thing were the hours were crazy, and that it was more than full-time. You were doing a lot of evening hours, a lot of things on the weekends, a lot of late nights, and so I guess that's my only concern going back to that with kids. Although certainly I had wonderful women and men on the team that did it, so who knows. But I really did enjoy that job. I loved creating trainings, both kind of static ones that people could go back to whenever they'd like, but then also kind of live webinars as well. Those were always fun, and just being a support for faculty that needed it. It was kind of a backstage job where I felt like I was helping the whole university, because in supporting the faculty, I was making sure that the students were getting, a good education, and I was just helping out the university in general. So yeah, that's kind of my education and background. And again, I don't know what the future will bring and what I'll go back to. I say that my dream job is something at a library. Unfortunately, a lot of libraries, you need a library sciences master's degree, which I'm really not looking to get another master's degree, especially one so focused on a very specific career, and especially for a career that doesn't pay a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know. If you're a librarian, what do you think about the library sciences degree? I'm very interested. I'm not saying that it's not something that you shouldn't get or anything like that, but I am interested to know why it is so important that you have that very specific degree to be a librarian, and what it is that you learn with that degree. It's really cool. I did get this question as well. Did you find it much harder going from 1 to 2 children, or or what was the transition in general from 1 to 2?
Hello, from the future, editing Ashley. So, editing the video, as you can see, super casual, really was enjoying talking with you all, but I do kind of ramble on a bit, and then I start to go into some specific questions about the transition from 0 to 1 and 1 to 2 kids, as well as about having more kids, as well as about being a boy mom and if I want a girl, and that went on for a very long time. And as I will say later in this video, and I think I've already said it, I think when I start to get that specific into questions, it kind of becomes its own video. So I'm going to save that for another day. And what I figured right now is I'd kick it up a notch, as Oogie Boogie would say, and do some more kind of more rapid fire ones. Because I didn't do a lot of those. I did some hard hitting, really deep ones, which of course adds for a very long video. So let's learn a little bit more about me on kind of a higher level. Best holiday movie. My favorite holiday movie is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Love that movie. It gives me all of the childhood vibes, and I love that movie so much. The whole thing. When it starts off and he's driving in the car saying he's in traffic, then they go to Denny's. Just love that whole movie. Someone asks, have you ever visited Ireland? I've not visited Ireland. Outside of the United States, I have been to Italy twice. One time with my family, my mom's side, and my grandfather my maternal grandfather came here from Italy, and my maternal grandmother was born in the States, but her parents were born in Italy. So I have a lot of Italian on my side, both for my mom and a little bit for my dad. So really love the Italian culture and have always felt a closeness to it. So I went with my family, and then I went again in high school with my school. So I'm very lucky that I was able to do that. But I would love to go back over there. Specifically, I would like to go to probably London, maybe France. Kind of like, yeah, I like Europe a lot. I also would love to do like Switzerland. I would love to do like near the Alps. Like I've just seen pictures of that and it looks amazing. There's a lot. I'm not a huge flyer, so I get a little worried about those long flights, but I've done it before. I'm sure I could do it again. I don't think I could ever do like an Australia flight. I don't know if I'm like I need to do that badly, but I could do like a to Europe kind of flight or somewhere in that area. Curly fries or waffle fries? Interesting fact about me, I have not eaten a French fry. I specify that because I've cheated and I do let myself have home fries, which is just a morning food. It is not a French fry, but I've not had any type of French fry since 2008. The very first time I joined Weight Watchers in college, I just stopped eating French fries because it was like my biggest vice. And after a year, I was like, oh my gosh, I have not had a French fry in a year. How long can I keep this going? Well, I guess 12 years, and I'm going to see how much longer I can. Which is very hard now because both my boys love French fries, and I literally have to hold them in my hand to cool them down and give them to them. And I'm like, I can't eat it. So neither, I guess. Although I love both. Someone asked that they're coming to Disney soon. And if they see us in the park, could they say hello? Absolutely. Please say hi. Yes. Favorite Disney and Pixar character? Never really thought about my favorite Pixar character, but my favorite Disney character is Donald Duck, specifically Mexican Donald Duck, but I also love all the Donald Ducks. And also, I realized I never really talk about him, but actually, one of my other favorite is Jiminy Cricket. Like, he just has always been a favorite of mine, but I've never actually thought about it. He's just always been in the background. I think part of it is because he narrated Wishes, which is a really important song to us, of course, and Fireworks Show, because that's where we got engaged. And yeah, I just love his whole spiel, like that he let your conscience be your guide. Like, he's just a cool dude, and I'm here for that. But yeah, Pixar, the only thing that's coming to mind is Miguel, like Coco. I would say Miguel or Baymax. I also love Stitch too, though. Someone asked, are there any books that I'm currently reading? Yes, I just finished. Gosh, it took me way too long, especially with this trip. Just finished A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which, by the way, there's a character in that named Lee. And if you've read the book. But anyway, I just started The Right Stuff. It's an audiobook, so have just started it. But I'm really excited to get through it, especially because one, there's a movie, so I'm excited to watch that afterwards, and I also think Disney Plus has something about it going on, some kind of series, so I'm excited about that as well. Okay, and last question, a little bit more deep, but I'll try to keep it brief. Stacy very nicely asked, are you okay? You seem super stressed since you all made the decision to head to Florida for 6+ weeks, and I appreciate you asking that. I wouldn't say I'm stressed. It was more just an adjustment, and I've realized as I get older, adjustments sometimes, for whatever reason, are harder for me. When I was younger, I think I always loved changes and was always like spontaneous, up for something, but I don't know if it's just age and then also having kids. There's just so much more to consider that, it was just a lot to kind of take in, a lot of changes at once. A lot of expectations and all of that stuff, pandemic in general. So I wouldn't say I'm stressed, but just kind of figuring it all out. And yeah, overall I'm really enjoying the experience. But thank you for asking. Okay, let's go back to some of the questions I answered, and then we'll answer some more in another video.
I just saw my father-in-law. My father-in-law just asked, is Florida a place you would like to move to? He's like, are you guys moving? He keeps asking that. All of our family is very worried. They keep going, so are you moving there? Are you moving there? Oh my gosh, I want to do like 2 more. So I feel like I haven't addressed much. Oh, this is a good one because I've been doing this for 3 months, and so I was excited to kind of do this Q&A. How do you handle this? How do you handle the 2 YouTube channels and the everyday items that need done? Well, our main street adventures, I'm not handling it very well, and that's part of the struggle again being down here. You know, something I had said was, which I'm glad though that it was a last minute decision, because then it probably would have pushed off doing Ashley's Lemonade Stand. But I certainly wouldn't have started Ashley's Lemonade Stand knowing that just a month later we would be going to having an extended stay in Florida, because it certainly has made things difficult, and that we are editing a lot for Serial soon. I am editing for 2 videos a week for this channel, and then just trying to go to the parks, enjoy Florida here, keep up with this house. That is something that I'm definitely looking forward to when we are back home. We're just kind of getting back into a routine and feeling more on top of this channel and everything else. So right now it is just constantly everything's last minute, taking up a lot of our downtime that I wish it wasn't, because we do want to be trying to take advantage as much as possible of our time here. But also, you know, this is a responsibility that I take very seriously, and you know, it's not something that is too extreme, so it's something we can still do. I just feel like I'm not doing as good of a job as I'd like to, I guess. The videos are kind of haphazard, last second, kind of stressful, taking up a lot of time, and then and even with all of that, still not quite at the standard that I'd like. I have so many video ideas too that I have kind of in the pipeline that just can't do right now. So yeah, it's a lot to handle right now, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I'm really proud of myself. I'm just continuing to do it. That's something really important to me. It helps me just with my well-being to have something that other than my family and my home, to take care of and feel like, you know, I'm responsible for, and it's a creative outlet for me and things like that. The only thing again is that it's not quite as fulfilling and satisfying right now, because I just feel like I'm trying to make ends meet, and I want to get back to that point where I really feel like I am on a routine, a schedule, and creating and putting out videos that I'm really, really, really proud of. Okay, so one thing, I know I said I'm doing a video on Florida and our experience here and what kind of our takeaways are. But there are 2 other videos that are coming out from this, just in going through these questions. One is just more questions about Lee and Dennis in general, me also as a mom. I'm getting a lot of questions of like what the kids have taught me, what their personalities are like, what our routine is like, things like that. So I want to do a video on that, you know, what's the most rewarding part of being a mom. And then I'm also getting a lot of questions of how did Joe and I meet? How did I know he was the one? Just other relationship questions. So I also want to do a video about that and possibly have Joe join along for that as well. So awesome, I really love all these questions. Oh, also, a lot of people ask about Weight Watchers. So I also want to do a video on Weight Watchers. So that's another one. Or just questions about weight loss in general. Ooh, okay, I'll do 2 more because this is a really quick one. Team Backstreet Boys or NSYNC? What do you think? NSYNC! NSYNC all the way! Oh my gosh! NSYNC for sure. Huge fan. I still love them. Ooh. Okay, last question. And maybe I'll talk more about this in the future because I don't know if we still fully know. But someone asked, what is Santa bringing your boys for Christmas? Do you and Joe still exchange gifts? So Joe and I do not exchange gifts. We have not exchanged gifts even before kids. We did, I think, the first 2 years, and then it kind of happened by accident we kind of fell into not doing it by accident because we used to live far away from family, and just with the schedule that our families had for when they wanted us to be at their house, we could not have a Christmas morning. And so we just kind of were like, okay, well, at that point, what's the point? I remember one year we did it like a couple of days before Christmas, and we were just like, I don't know. We still could have done that and made the best of it, but we were starting to go to Disney a little bit more, and we just realized, we're like, you know what? We feel very lucky that we're able to do that. We would like to put our money more towards that than gift giving. We feel like that is our gift to each other, is those trips to Disney. And then we definitely don't do it with kids, although I would like to do it a little bit, because I do think as the kids get older, it's nice for them to see us exchange gifts. So that is something that, you know, maybe we may incorporate back in very thoughtfully. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that's something that I do think about. As for the kids, it's really funny. Lee all the time asks for Santa gifts, that toys that we like to cycle through toys, and so toys that we have kind of like packed away for a little while. Ask for those for Christmas. He's like, I'd love that toy back, and we're like, oh cool, perfect. And we have done it before, where we've like Santa's re-gifted him a toy. So might do a little bit of that this year. Because of this big trip, we were thinking that we were going to have a very small Christmas for the kids. But I will say I'm very excited. There's been this company I've had my eye on for a couple of years now, I think, at least a year, and it is Slumberkins. And I did make a little purchase there for the kids, and I think a lot of their presents will be surrounded around that, because it was a little bit of a cost, I guess. Still not as much as we typically would spend, but again, because we're looking to spend less, this might be the majority of their gift. So maybe I'll show you what those are, but definitely check out the website. You'll see exactly what it is that I'm referring to. It's a really great company that I believe in, because they really support the big emotions that kids have and how to navigate that, both how for the kids to navigate that and how for the parents to navigate it, and how you can bond together and communicate about emotions in general. And that's something very important to me as an emotional person, and as someone that does see emotions in my kids, and want to really make sure that we have a really great open communication and just a way of navigating through that journey of emotions. So I'm really excited. It was my first purchase, and I really hope that they like it, and that it's something that becomes a big part of our lives and our routine. So really excited about that. Other than that, we don't really have any other gifts planned out yet. We're getting close to it, so again, may not be much else, but that's okay, because hey, being here in Disney and doing this has been a great gift to all of us, and I know that Lee will understand that, hopefully, and of course Dennis won't know the difference. So that is our plan. May have a little bit more here and there, but that is the gist. One thing I am sad that has been a tradition from Santa, actually, is Santa always gives the kids gifts that are hand-me-downs in some ways. That's something that we've really enjoyed that Santa has done, is he's really been resourceful in knowing that there are we don't always need to buy brand new toys, that he can find toys from other kids that have been well loved, but that are still very usable and can be well loved by our kids. And I'm sad that that will likely not be a tradition we can do this year, because of just how difficult it is right now to get your hands on those kinds of things. The yard sales, the toy sales, and all those things are not really happening. I may need to do a little bit of search. Maybe I could do some of that online this year. I'm not sure. I'm not looking to do like a big eBay purchase or something where it's like a company or just like some guy doing it. I really want it to be something where Santa is giving back to an organization that helps kids, and that's why we're getting the toys, or we're just helping another family, or so on. So I don't know. I don't know about that piece. That piece I would love to still have, but I'm not sure if that'll work this year. But it's definitely something that we will do in the future. Well, anyway, I don't know how long this video was, but it was whatever it was. I don't know how much I'll include because I've talked for quite a while now and I don't want to make this go on forever, but there's so much more questions I can answer because you all gave really good questions and I only scratched the surface because I ramble on and because so many of you asked. So it's a good thing. That means more videos in the very near future. But I appreciate you listening and I appreciate you asking. And this is really good for the soul. It was just nice to sit down and chat. Sit at my nice little, oof, the sun's coming in. My nice little windowsill here. This is a cute little spot. And just talk with all of you. So, I know I feel like I'm shrinking because it's a little off. I don't know why I did that because I'm editing the video anyway. But I felt like I was like, okay. So, thank you again for joining me. And I'll be back with another video on Friday. Hope you're all doing well. Alright, on that note, it is in the morning and I think the kids will be waking up very soon. The sun has fully risen. So I need to go on with my day. Thanks guys. Bye.
Blah, blah.